to raise your hand. A few people. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a slightly modified version of that, given that we are living in Portugal. Cobblestone soup. And our story begins many years ago in medieval times. A traveler wandering in the countryside finds his way. He's been on the road for many days and finds his way to a town. It's a very poor, like impoverished town, but he's exhausted. And so he stops and he goes to the first house that he sees. It's just kind of a dilapidated hut. Knocks on the door and asks, ma'am, could I please get a meal? I've been on the road for so long. And she says, we're poor, we have nothing, we can't give you anything. We can't even share with our own people, let alone strangers, so I'm sorry, I can't help you. And so he goes to the next hut and gets a similar response from the next guy. And after this, instead of going to the third hut, he stops and thinks, this is a place of scarcity. Like, I'm going to need to get creative in order to solve this situation. And so what he does, gets an idea, and he goes into the town square and finds an area where there's some cobbles that are uprooted, grabs one of them, puts them in his pocket, and comes back and goes to the third house and says, knocks on the door and says, ma'am, I've been on the road, I don't have any food, I would love a place to stay, and in exchange for this, I'm offering you my stone soup. This is a magical stone. He pulls the stone out of his pocket. He says, this is a magical cobblestone that I brought. This produces the finest soup. People that have this soup say they've never had soup like it before in their lives. And the woman is intrigued by this, and she takes him in and says, okay, you can stay here, let's do it. So they go out back and build a fire, and they put a cauldron, and he puts his cobblestone in the pot, fills it with water, it starts to boil, and a few minutes in, he tastes the soup, and he says, this is excellent, but it's missing something. It's missing carrots, but I noticed, ma'am, you had some carrots in your garden. Would you potentially be willing to donate some carrots for this soup? She says, I think I can do that. And so she brings and puts the carrots in there. About this time, the woman from house number one is walking by. She's walking her dog. She sees what's going on. She says, what are you guys doing? He says, we're making stone soup. It's amazing. You're welcome to join us, but it's just missing one thing. It's missing the cabbage. I noticed, though, you had a head of cabbage in your garden. Would you be willing to share a head of cabbage? And the woman says, okay, yeah, I can do that. And one by one, he does this routine, and it's like the more people that gather around, the more commotion. The neighbors start coming out of their houses, and some of these neighbors that have never even talked to each other. This is a town of no one shares anything, no one talks. They go about their own business. And so here you have people coming out of corn and potatoes and onions and chickens and spices. And at the point, like an hour into it, just people are meeting each other and having fun and drinking and sharing. And the soup comes to a boil, and it's just, he stops, he tastes it, he says, it is done. It's delicious. And so at this point, ladles out a bowl for everyone there, and they all try the soup, and they're just in disbelief, nodding, like, this is remarkable. And someone says, I must know, where did you find this magic stone? This is incredible, this soup is amazing. And he says, my friends, this stone came from nowhere other than your own town square. It's an enchanted place, and you guys would all do well to spend more time there with each other. And know that at any time you can go back to the town square, and anyone can grab one of these stones, and doing as we did, make this magical soup. And so he has another cup for himself, goes to sleep on a full belly, leaves in the morning to great fanfare, and everyone sees him off and just amazed at this amazing person. In the parable here, guys, there's a lot of lessons, but what I would like to relate it to is a project that I started called Problematic. We do this once a month. We come together, making stone soup. It's the closest thing to digital stone soup that I know how to make at this point. With people of all different skill sets in the community, we come and we build solutions to world problems, and we contribute our unique skills. And it's a thing where people ordinarily operate in silos in their own worlds, but it's one chance a month for everyone to come out of their houses and work together on these solutions. And so we have our next one, September 3rd. If you'd like to come, this QR code will get you there, but it's just meetup.com/problematic. And I'd love to see everyone here at the next Stone Soup seminar. Thank you guys. Woo!